Somebody tell me why Donald Trump makes people so crazy.
So we have the cat ladies for Kamala here. Rural Americans for Harris. Caregivers for Kamala. Train lovers for Harris Waltz. I didn't know there were train lovers. Train lovers unfold the way it has. From a child of immigrants to big sister to McDonald's worker. There is hope for y'all. District attorney, a wife, and mamala to senator to vice president. Please welcome Kamala Harris.
Yes, I don't understand why Oprah is still pushing this narrative. This is a lie. It has been debunked. If you like search on Google, according to USA Today, they claim McDonald's said there is no record of Kamala Harris working there. And then they still continue to push it. Kamala campaign is full of BS. I don't get the point why they continue to spread lies like this. Recently, they had a Zoom call, it's still even going on, where a lot is being discussed. They have realized that Kamala can't get men, so the focus is on women.
Black voters, generally speaking, are a bit hard to poll. So I want to go to a Howard University survey that came out today that suggested that she is performing around 82% with black voters writ large, meaning men and women. And Donald Trump is around 12%. That's the same number he received in 2020. I think a part of the reason, to Nia's point, that you're seeing the vice president double down on her support and outreach to women is because I assume the calculation from the campaign's perspective is if they can't make up room with men, specifically black men, can they sort of provide a buffer or a cushion, if you will, in some of those critical battleground states by continuously targeting and penetrating women voters around certain issues that are of importance to them? Whether or not that will be enough, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, polling data suggests when you look beneath the top line numbers that a lot of Trump's voters are typically underestimated. They typically aren't polled very well. And so his strengths may not necessarily reveal themselves in the data that we have access to, which is why you see that this race is a whole lot closer than I think many would have suspected it would have been.
Proving harder to win over. Young black men. According to this new poll, more than 1 in 5 black men under the age of 50 support Donald Trump for president. And when you look specifically at black men under 50 without college degrees, then support for Trump rises to more than 1 in 4 black men.
Yes, Democrats have lost it. They cannot have men really supporting them. They cannot have it again. So the only best way is for them now to do things like what Oprah is doing here, trying to bring women together. And their focus, abortion, women's rights, things like that. What I saw during that live stream, I think I'm going to do a full segment where you will see some real word salad, coming from Kamala.
We're so happy to be in your state.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Yes, and we want everybody who can vote, obviously, to vote, but it's very important for women. So what do you want to say to women?
Well, this is going to be a big, close race. Michigan is always tight. We know we're feeling good, but we got to translate that feeling into action. We deserve a leader who is strong and kind. It's not mutually exclusive. And that's why I think this moment is so important for all of us today, but for our kids and future generations, too. There's so much at stake here, from our individual reproductive freedom to the ability to get ahead and make a good living and take care of your family. That's all on the line this election.
Yes, strong and kind.
Yes.
Isn't that a notion? And what can Michigan do to help get Kamala Harris to the White House?
I think we've got to do the hard work. In 2016, we were short 11,000 votes. That's 2 votes per precinct, which tells you that a conversation you have with a loved one or a neighbor or a fellow parishioner, whomever in your life you can talk to, we've got to do it. Do something, as Michelle Obama said at the convention. Well, this is what we're doing tonight. We're doing something. Thank you for allowing us in your state. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I can clearly see where they pay attention when it concerns things like border security, trying to strengthen the border. immigration, things like that, you will see how Kamala will freeze at points like that. I understand she will always go back to when I was a prosecutor, I used to do this, I used to do that. That is what we have seen through all this. Now, their focus is to talk about women's rights. When I watch all the live stream throughout, this is their main thing. Even the way Kamala is responding to question is embarrassing. Like, seriously. Sometimes I don't even want to put videos partaken to her on this channel because I understand.
Somebody tell me why Donald Trump makes people so crazy. I was talking to my mother on the phone, expressing to her that I'm voting for Donald Trump. She immediately went off on me, started screaming at me at the top of her lungs because I choose to support somebody different than the Democrat Kamala Harris. But let me tell you all something. When it comes to my vote, I'm not voting based on color. I don't vote based on gender. I don't vote based on how nice a person pretends to be, or maybe she really is nice. Doesn't matter to me. I'm voting based on policy. And that's the only thing that can win my vote. In order for me to turn away from Donald Trump and vote for Kamala Harris, I need to be convinced that her policy positions, especially regarding the economy and on illegal immigration, I need to be convinced that those policy positions are superior than Donald Trump. And so far, I have not been convinced, and I doubt that I will be convinced because I don't think that she has any policy positions, and I don't think that she will come up with anything of substance before this election because nobody presses her on hot button issues. Nobody holds her feet to the fire. Nobody holds her accountable. So why should she come up with something? Because she's allowed to just simply skate by. One thing, too, that I don't understand. My mother is a baby boomer. I asked her, okay, are you all right with open borders? She says, no, of course I'm not. Nobody wants open borders. And I asked her again, okay, well, what do you think about the economy or inflation? Does that not bother you? And she said, of course it bothers me. She said, it bothers me more than it bothers you because I'm living on Social Security. And then I said to her, well, you know what? Donald Trump's policy, one of them, is to eliminate taxes on your Social Security. She immediately went off and started screaming like, oh, you can't trust him. And I told her, you sound emotional. And she said, I am emotional. And I said, but you know what? You're not supposed to vote based on your emotions. And I think that's what it is. So many people are voting based on emotion, based on what they think and how they feel and about his mean tweets from a few years ago. You need to take all of that out of there and just vote based on policy. Policy is the only thing that matters because I could care less about how nice Kamala is. I want to see policy. And if you don't have a good policy, you don't need to be in the office.
When you see an intelligent lady, you don't need to doubt. She is very intelligent. I really wish she could create time to educate her mother because sometimes it might just be because of ignorance. There are certain things, or she's just following the crowd. That is what I've seen with some people. Oh, Kamala will be the first president. Oh, she's a woman. Things like that. They don't even care to see if they are feeding well. These are things you need to take into consideration. And her reason voting for Trump is because she will wear both sides. Oh, when Trump was president, how was my life? How was I? Drawing the conclusions based on policies, not on like Oprah here. We just know they want to pop her up because of that kind of woman positions. We understand what they are doing here. Hillary did not succeed, so they believe so much that this is the best way. When you look at even today, watching Hillary Clinton, she made it clear that she's coaching Kamala.